Okay, so there is an essay that keeps coming back to me. It was written back in, I think, 2008, in which in the internet here is basically an ancient history. But the idea is one of those rare ones that gets more true as time passes. Now, the idea is you don't need a million followers to actually build a creative career. You need just 1,000. And 1,000 people who genuinely loves what you do or genuinely misses you whenever you stop. People who tells other people about you without even you asking. That is what I call a true fan, right? And honestly, in this 2026, with all these platforms getting noisier, with the algorithm getting harder to predict, and with the whole creator economy feeling increasingly like a volume game, that framework has never felt more important. So, this video is about how to actually build that 1,000, not through luck, not by going viral and hoping the right people stick around, but through a real delivery system that works whether you're starting from zero or you're stuck in a particular place for a month. So let's get into it.
Still missing out on Web3 opportunities? What if you could start your journey today? The smartest platforms make Web3 complicated, confusing wallets, hidden fees, and endless risk. Meet Tekrio Hub, your gateway to the digital economy. Simple, secure, and built for the future.
Now, why 1,000 changes everything? I want to start with the maths because I think genuinely it shifts how you see the goals. Now, if 1,000 people are willing to spend $100, $100 in a year on what you create, something like a course, a membership, like a book, or a ticket to something live, a product that you make, that's 100,000 that you make in a year. For most independent creators, that isn't just a sustainable income. That's an actual freedom. The freedom to create on your own terms without chasing brand deals that you don't even believe in, or optimizing every piece of content for a platform growth metrics instead of your own work. But here is the thing: the financial case isn't even what I find most compelling about this. What 1,000 true fans can actually give you is a feedback loop that one can't even manufacture. They, tell you what resonates before you have the actual analytics to prove it. They share your work with exact people, and the algorithm cannot even do that, or the algorithm cannot even tell them what to do on that, but because they did it on their own, and those specific people showed up and they stayed. They are the foundation. And trust me, no platform is designed to help you find them. Every major social network is optimized for their own engagement numbers, not to help you identify your 100 people in their own, user base who will become your most loyal customers or more loyal supporters. That gap is a whole lot of problem, right? And this is exactly what we're going to solve in this video. Now, before we walk through the strategies, I want to be precise about one thing we're actually trying to build here, right? Because the word fan is a word that gets used for a lot of different things. Now, a true fan is not somebody or someone who likes few of your posts. Neither is somebody who followed you because your reel showed up in their feed one afternoon. Now, a true fan is someone who actively chooses to spend time with your content. Somebody who seeks out rather than just stumbling across you. Somebody who, tells people about your work, not because you ask them to, or maybe there is something in for them, but because they thought of a specific person and thought, and they said, okay, this is what I need to see. Now, a true fan can be someone who, if you launch something tomorrow, would at least seriously consider paying for it because they trust that what you make is worth their time and money. And maybe most tellingly, we will say a true fan is someone who would notice you if you disappear. That's the relationship we are building. And it's built differently than a follower count. So the approach I'm going to walk you through has 8 stages. They are not complicated, but they are built on each other. So the order really, really matters. We are going to define your minimum viable audience, and then we create content that attracts, not just reach. We find your true fans where they already exist, and then we show up there, right? Then we use the audience recovery to go beyond whoever that is following you. You understand? Then we create a specific experience that converts casual viewers, build the systems that make consistency actually possible, not just aspirational, possible. Then we now leverage on partnership with other creators and measure the things that actually tells you whether it's working or not. Now, each of these is simpler than it sounds, and together they, work as a company system. So let me take you through all of them one at a time. Stage one, and honestly, is the one most creators keep, which is a big part of why they get stuck. Before you find your true fans, you need to be able to describe them precisely, not a demographic bracket, right? Not people who likes marketing or fitness enthusiasts. A person, right? A specific type of person, somebody with a specific relationship to your topic or your niche. There are three questions that helps you get there. First, what is the specific problem, aspiration, or obsession that define this person's relationship with your topic? Not just they are interested in photography, right? But they are self-taught photographers who feel like their image look technically fine, but somehow flat. And they are frustrated because they can't quite identify why. Second, where does this person already spend their time online? Not just which platform, but which community, which channels, which newsletters, which corner of Reddit. The more specific your answer, the more useful it becomes. Third, what will make this person feel like your content was made specifically for them? What angle, what tone, what level of assumption knowledge will, create that finally someone gets it moment? Now, the more precisely you can answer those three questions that I just mentioned, the easier everything else becomes. There are three types of content that, consistently build true fans, and they are different from the content that just, builds followers count. The first is content that names the unspoken. Every niche has things that, everyone is thinking about, but nobody is saying quite clearly. Now, when you're the one that articulates these things, when you put words into something your audience has been feeling but couldn't name, you create these recognition moments. Now, that feeling of, yes, exactly, this is me, that is the most powerful signal in your audience building. And it's also the content that gets shared person to person directly, not because an algorithm suggests it. The second is the content that goes deeper than the standard takes. Surface level educational content is everywhere, right? Now, what builds true fans is the content that assumes that the reader is smart and, genuinely curious. That doesn't stop at the level, the first level answer, but follows, further more than most people bother to go. True fans are often the people who actually wants to understand something, not just assume it. So the third one is the content that reveals your perspective, your genuine opinion on things in your space, your framework for how, you think about some decisions, your honest take on what is overrated or underrated in your own niche. This is what makes fans feel like they know you actually. Now, and knowing you, having a sense of your worldview, your sensibility is a prerequisite of caring about what you create next. Here is the insight that actually shifts the timeline for reaching your first 1,000 subscribers or followers. Now, your true fans already exist somewhere, right? They are communicating in communities, they are following channels in your niche, they are having conversation that you haven't even joined yet. You're not trying to create these people from scratch, you're trying to find them actually. On YouTube, true fans discover creators primarily through search and through if you like this, you might like this on the sidebar. Both are earned by publishing consistently, the word consistently on a specific niche topic with the title that matches your audience, or what your audience actually types in their search bar. Now, on TikTok and Instagram, the discovery feeds are still, genuinely powerful, but only when your content is specific enough to, or specific enough for the algorithm to know who to show it to. Now, the more distinctly your niche is or your content is, the more precisely it gets surfaced to the right people. On X, niche creator communities are, some of the most engaged on any platform at all that you can mention. Now, participating in real conversation, not just broadcasting, and building genuine relationship with creators in adjacent space, constantly put you in front of their own audience who overlaps with yours. And Discord and Telegram communities are, they operate on a different level, right? Something different happened there. Your most engaged people are self-selected into this private space, and the level of connection and loyalty that comes from there is genuinely different from anything that a public feed produces. Now, I have put links to Tekrio Hub's platform specific growth resources for all of these in the description below. So, like, subscribe, follow, and put a notification on for more of this content. Now, there is one more channel that I want to talk about because it's one of the ones creators haven't found yet, and it fills the gap that organic social simply doesn't cover. Audience discovery platform. These are platforms specifically built to surface your content to people who are steadily and actively looking for content in your niche, not a random fraction of a general feed. People who have already demonstrated interest in exactly what you create. The quality of that attention is completely different from what you get through social distribution, and the conversion from viewers to true fans is meaningfully higher because the fit is better from the start. For creators at early stage of building their first 1,000 fans, right? This kind of targeted visibility is particularly valuable to them. You're not trying to reach to everyone. Just note it. You're not trying to reach to everyone. You're trying to reach to the specific people who are most likely to become your foundation of your, creative career. Once someone finds you through any channel, converting them into your true fan becomes, comes down to the three specific experiences I just mentioned earlier, right? Now, recognition moments, that feeling of this was made for me is very, very important. Now, the depth experience, discovering that the quality that we encountered wasn't just a one-off something or a one-time something, that the whole content in your library feels exactly that same way. And a connection experience, a direct interaction with you, a reply to a comment that genuinely engaged rather than a formulaic something that you just put up. A piece of content that addresses the question they ask in your comment sections is also important. Now, something that shifts the relationship from a fan only content to a fan of a creator. I want to be honest with you about what this actually looks like over time because I think a lot of creators get discouraged in month two and month three when the pace feels slow. So here is a real call. So months one and two, you're actually laying the foundation, right? You will find maybe 20 to 80 true fans, mostly people from your personal network or any community participation. You know, it feels quite modest to have these numbers in few months, right? That's okay because you're building the infrastructure that everything else gets built on. Month three and month four, early compounding. Your content starts, appearing on search results. People find you who, don't already know you. Now, the first three fans who came from nowhere, who just found your stuff and they like it, they start appearing them. You're probably somewhere between 100 to 250 at that period. Month 5 through month 7, this is the discovery phase. Now, the audience discovery platform starts surfacing your work to genuine audience, right? New audience that came into the system or into the platform. One or two pieces breakthrough to wider sharing within your niche. The community you've been building, starts to self-recruit new people. You know, 300 to 600 true fans at that period. You start coming in. Now, month 8 through month 11 or to month 12, that's where you have the mature compounding. Your content library is now large enough to, start catching people at multiple different points because you have different topics to discuss. So you're catching people from different points at this time. And then referral from existing true fans now becomes a new growth in your channel, right? You are around 700 to 1200 subscribers in your channel. Now, that's the honest call, not instant, not always, exciting at the first month that you start your channel, but very, very real because the people coming in are organic people, they're organic users, organic subscribers to your channel. I want to close with what I genuinely believe, and I think it's what's holding on to when the early months feels slow, right? The slow build is a sustainable build. The creators who are still working and growing 5 years in, 10 years in, are almost never the ones who get lucky with a single viral moment. They are the ones who, you know, made a quiet commitment, and they are consistent to find the right people, serving them well, and letting those relationships compound over time. Now, trust me, your first 1,000 true fans are already out there. They are already interested exactly in what you're building. They just haven't found it yet. So every piece of content that you publish moves you closer, right? Every community that you participate also moves you closer to your audience. Now, every platform that surface your work to new and genuinely interested audience also moves you closer. Now, if you want a tool specifically to, build you the last part that I just mentioned, reaching the right people, not just more people, actual right people. The link is in my description. No pressure, just I think is worth knowing about. So subscribe if you want more of this kind and honest, grounded creator strategy. I put this up every week. So see you in the next video.